Welcome to A Social Disease, a podcast for recapping and relating to Degrassi the Next Class. I'm your host, Jessie Mack.
And I'm Carly Jo Gear, also a host. And today we're talking about Season 1, Episode 6, #NotAllMen. Welcome back, everybody. On today's episode, we have a special guest, Tamara Chambers.
Hi.
Hi.
She's a friend of mine as well as a YouTube sensation.
Ooh.
I don't always introduce her like that, but I think it sounds cool.
I wish you would introduce me
really
like that all the time.
So, Tamara, we start out our podcast with our guests. If you could just tell us a little bit about who you were in high school versus who you are today.
Okay, first of all, I love this question. I don't know why, but it just speaks to me as a person. I was such a theater kid. Oh my gosh, which I feel like you were as well.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, great. Huge theater nerd, but the lame kind, not the cool kind.
same.
You know that distinction?
Like, were you always in the ensemble? I never got leading roles.
I think my lameness came from owning too many capes. That kind
Oh,
of thing.
one of
Like
those
those
theater
weirdos.
kids.
You were a cape
kid? Wow.
Cape Kid Chambers.
Oh my God.
Did they really call you that?
No, I wish.
Okay.
That was a
I was
dream.
like, this is a whole new world that I didn't know about Tamara. She was a Cape kid. Okay.
I will never forget the guy in college that wore a cape.
Oh, yes. I love the confidence that he brought into college. Was like, you know what? I didn't get enough tormenting in high school. I'm going to bring it all into college.
Let's really roll with it.
Yeah. Commit. I like it. I like the commitment. I would say I don't do theater as much now, though I'd like to. I think I've turned from theater kid, high school theater kid, into like wannabe cool film person, but like not there yet. But like, you know, those kids in high school who are like, I know everything about film. I'm like that like wannabe.
Eli was the big film guy.
Yeah. Maybe she was an Eli. I don't know. You haven't seen Eli.
Probably.
Probably.
If he's insufferable, it's probably me.
Perfect. Absolutely.
It's me.
And then who are you today?
I think, the lame film person.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
You kind of said that already.
I tried super hard to be cool, and I'm still riding that train, I think.
What is your big thing on YouTube is Tamara's never seen?
Tamara's never seen. I grew up not watching a lot of films, and so now I'm reacting to them as an adult, like Jurassic Park and like Back to the Future and stuff like
geez.
that.
You could Tamara never seen Degrassi.
I totally could. I've been doing it for 2 years, so I'm running out of movies.
Yeah, no, you should totally do Degrassi because
Yeah.
it's such a cult following.
Right.
Yeah.
And like there's so many adults that started watching it as children that now are still watching it as adults.
Definitely.
Like us. We're not in our 30s watching a teen drama. I mean, we are.
Relating to these 15-year-olds.
Right, I know. And so that's the funny thing is I think when I was a kid watching it and being like, this is so real. And then watching it as an adult, I'm like, oh my God. Wow, they are really over the top about this.
Oh,
Okay.
it's the best, though. I love that.
Yeah, so Tamara had actually, like we said, never seen Degrassi, so I had her watch this episode in particular, obviously. And then when she got to my place, I gave her like a lot of the backstory of people, so she, knows like what Hunter's arc is and everything.
Right.
So she's caught up. She's good. She
am.
doesn't need to watch episodes 1 through 5. She can just go from 6 and be good.
And I will say, I feel like it was pretty easy to pick up.
Okay. Yeah.
They do repeat themselves a lot.
They really do. There were certain thing like so as we've been watching back in the new or the next generation, and I've been seeing these plot points that they randomly will mention in the new class that I'm like, oh right, they did offhandedly mention that thing.
Yeah.
And now I'm seeing it happen. So like it's interesting. They do give you enough background per episode.
Right.
I mean, it's like a teen soap opera, right?
It's great. It's a great format.
And so I will say, so we invited Tamara specifically because for this episode, we were looking for a woman that does game and, has some experience in what it's like to be in that, mostly male-dominated arena,
Right.
Mobus arena, right? As well as has dealt with like cyberbullying. And we didn't
Right.
get to that in this episode. That comes up in the following episodes. But I'm hoping that we can still talk about that a little bit.
They kind of like touch on it. They make some like low key sexist remarks, but they don't get too intense, with the exception of that reference to the headscarf situation. Like that was ridiculous.
Right.
But
Yeah.
we're not quite peak misogyny yet. So
No, not full. This is really
quite.
just dipping their toe in the misogyny pool.
Touching on it. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so what I will say is that the bulk of the kind of crap online that I've dealt with is on YouTube. I'm a gamer on Twitch, but I work for a channel where I do Tamara's Never Seen. It has 1 million subscribers, and so the people who come to watch me on Twitch are just people that I think actually genuinely like me. It's like 1 million people
So
over
that's why
there.
nobody's being mean on Twitch, because they're like, we like Tamara.
We've got like a lot of people watching on YouTube, and then I
I'm
only
just like,
have
fuck Tamara.
yeah, terrible to me. And then there's like 2,000 people only, which is a small number for Twitch that come to watch me game.
Oh, I thought you were cooler than that. Sorry, Jesse. I didn't mean to invite a lame Twitch player.
Sorry,
Wow.
viewers.
Wow.
So everyone there is super kind, and also Twitch is a great platform where you can easily block people. So
Oh, nice.
Yes,
Can
yeah,
you
it's
block
actually
people on YouTube?
you can hide user, and it's just extremely easy to make new profiles, and
okay.
it's a different beast.
Right.
So it's a lot easier to patrol that, especially with a smaller audience on Twitch. So for me, it's like the only positive source of online-ness for me.
Twitch is your safe haven.
My little pocket of the internet.
So what kind of games do you play?
Everything. I'm a big Fallout. You guys heard of Fallout?
I think so. Are there cars in that one?
No.
Is there a car on the cover?
No, but I bet you have something really good in your mind.
I'm picturing a car on fire. It's in the air. I'm not sure.
are you thinking of that old game that I can't think of what it was called, but it had like
Super Mario Brothers.
yeah,
Nailed it.
Wii
nailed
bowling.
it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wii bowling.
Wii bowling. That's it. Yeah. All right. So Fallout. What else? What other kinds of games?
Fallout, anything, Zelda.
Okay.
And I'm loving Switch and PS4 right now. My two favorite consoles.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty good.
And were you familiar with the term MOBAs?
No.
Oh, maybe it's not a real thing. Multiplayer online battle arena. So that's like, because I did some research for this one since I'm out of my league, and it was like I was like, what are the MOBAs games? Like, because I was really trying to figure out what game they were basing their game off of. And I got things like League of Legends, Arena of Valor, Dota,
Okay.
Heroes of the Storm.
Here's another reason I don't get hate on Twitch.
Okay.
I don't play online games. They're playing online.
right.
So other people are coming in from all over the world. I play only with myself. Well,
Wow,
that's what
very
she said.
masturbatory of you. Okay.
I don't play online because that's where all of the so the misogyny.
That's where they're screaming like, "Go get raped."
Exactly.
Yeah,
The misogyny
yeah.
that I'm not experiencing is just because I am not putting myself into that space.
So what you're saying is it's the women's fault.
Yep. It's my lady part.
For trying to join, it's just
Yeah,
How
it's like if
dare
you're gonna
you.
put yourself in that situation, well then it sounds like it's your fault. But I'm glad that you found a cocoon of safety
Thank you.
on Twitch. I almost called it Switch. I'm really I'm not
That's a video
gamer.
game thing too.
Yeah. Wait, Switch, because Switch is the
Console.
console.
Yeah.
That's you
Right.
said that earlier. So yeah, Twitch, Switch.
It's too much, man.
Yeah, I'm just working on my pitch. I don't know. Use a bitch.
I know a lot about like Johnny games all the time. I game when I can. Like I like Minecraft and
I don't get
Grand Theft
Minecraft.
Auto and Stardew Valley.
But you know what's funny about that is like Grand Theft Auto, that's a pretty fucked up game, isn't it? Like
I love
in
it.
The sexy sort. But yeah, you love killing hookers, don't you?
I love it too.
Exactly.
But still care about sex workers' rights.
Yeah.
So but you know, if I can
not
kill
real.
some hookers.
It's a line.
They're not real. Exactly. So
I
yeah,
just I like blowing up cars
Uh-huh.
and like driving them into each other and making them blow up and set up like a chain chain reaction of explosions. I like
100% all day long.
I have too much.
I just like running around shooting and blowing things up, and it's a way to let off steam.
I have too much anxiety because I'll be like playing Grand Theft Auto and I'll be like, well, I don't want to do that because then the cops will come. And
I don't want to go through this red light.
I don't. I'm like using my blinker and everything, like making safe turns.
The first time I played Grand Theft Auto, I'm pretty sure I was like, am I allowed to blow red lights? I'm not sure yet. I had to test it out.
Woo!
The idea of Carly using a blinker in Grand Theft Auto is my favorite thing in the world.
Let me check my blind spot. Are there any bikers coming?
Gotta get my oil changed.
Meanwhile, I'm like hunting down people on bikes. Like, yes, I'm gonna run them over. They're gonna go flying.
They have a family. Leave them alone.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So we open with the Mobus tournament. The Nerd Squad is crushing the competition, but they're all making low-key sexist comments as they play, like hike up your skirt and something about girls at H&M. They win and are going to regionals. Yael points out that Hunter was right to target the girls on the other team first. Boz points out that they only won by a point and they need to up their game. They need better computers like Northern. Hunter is delusional enough to think that if they win, they're going to be heroes at the school. He doesn't want to give up. He'll find them better computers somehow. Never doubt Hunter Hollingsworth.
I had wanted to say that, did you notice, so the reason why VJ said what he said in the first place, because Hunter was like, VJ, cover me with a taunt. And I thought at first it was like a gamer thing, like he tells Boz to drop your rage, and Boz is like, rage dropped. Yes. And so I assumed it was like a thing where there, sometimes it's like a loud shout or something like that. Yes. That's a game thing. So when he was like, cover me with a taunt, and VJ was like, I got you. I'm gonna be on them like girls at an H&M sale.
That's what he said.
Yeah, I think I wrote it down specifically, but it was about, I'm gonna be on you like girls at an H&M sale. Which, by the way, H&M has men's clothes too.
Right.
Absolutely.
And all very inexpensive. So if H&M wants to sponsor us, that's fine. But yeah, I was really confused about why he specifically was like, VJ, I need this taunt.
Absolutely.
Like, this is what's gonna fuel the win for me.
Yeah, I don't know what a taunt is. I have no clue.
No, it confused me for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I also will say, I didn't realize, you just said that Yael said that he was right to go for the girls first.
Yeah.
I totally did not even realize that's what he meant, because I was in the mindset of like all the little video game aliens they're attacking are women.
Right. To me, it read to me like go after the girl on their team.
And then later on, though, they say that the other team didn't have any women.
Because
Right.
so I'm
It's a bit confusing.
I am confused because then they also say that we don't have to use the women.
Yeah.
It's unclear if they're playing no, they are playing another school. So are the other school in the female characters? Shouldn't it be the other school that chooses which characters they play?
Definitely.
All right, we're finding a lot of holes in Degrassi right now.
This is just like, it's too bad they couldn't use a real game so we can
Yes.
figure out what the
Right.
actual rules
yes.
are. Like,
Fortnite.
I don't know what they're
Yeah.
doing. Like, are they playing their individual games and just racking up the most points, or are they fighting each other? I have no clue.
Because it did have to do with points. So I guess maybe they weren't fighting the other school specifically. They were just gaining points.
Right. No clue.
All right.
It was funny to watch because I don't play online games by myself, but like I've played with a bunch of friends before, and it was just this scene specifically stuck out to me as like, oh my gosh, they are just like reading a script because that's not how anyone talks during a game.
Right, yeah.
And so it was just all of it. Like right before they won, Hunter was like, "Oh, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it, guys." And it's like, okay, well,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I wasn't aware. I don't play video games, so I was like, this seems really realistic to me.
I'm very into this.
We cut to Grace and Zoe giggling and texting each other for some reason, I don't know why, in the back seat of Mama Revis's car. They're playfully wrestling as much as you can in the back seat, and Mom is concerned. Mom asks who raised Zoe to be so rude to ignore her. She laughs that maybe she got it from her dad, who was never in the picture. She drops them off as Grace is texting Zoe that her mom is hot, to which Zoe cringes. Mom takes her aside and expresses concern that Grace has a crush on Zoe. She doesn't want people to think she's gay if she hangs out with the obvious lesbian. Zoe takes it personally.
I was gonna say, it's funny because her Grace's hair reminds me of the hair that Tamara has most often.
Me
Obvious lesbian.
Obvious.
Okay, I have a boyfriend. Okay.
They've made like multiple comments about her obviously being a lesbian.
Yeah, no, they always do. And actually, low-key, it's the next season, like, she gets streaks instead of, like, the tips, and I'm like, I kind of want to do that to my hair. It's pretty. But then everyone will think I'm a lesbian.
Oh,
I would have loved to look like Grace in high school. I guess I kind
Right,
of...
she's so cute.
Yes.
I had like red tips for a little while, but I never got too crazy with my hair. So
Oh, same. No, I think I had the chunks in the front, the two front chunks, which is
Those front chunks.
which just sounds good.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I don't understand why they're texting in the backseat of the car. They're not texting anything secretive. It's not like
yeah, they're like, "Did you have
flirty.
breakfast today?"
Yeah, like, do you want to have eggs?
Yeah. It was super weird. It just
Like, this
didn't
is
make any sense.
Unnecessary,
I was
but
like, the mom, sure, she's, homophobic a bit, but, like, she's right to think that they're a little rude for doing that. I think.
no, I think that's fair. That's rude for them to not talk to her. Because I mean, I as a babysitter, when I have kids that are like purposefully, like, it drives me nuts when I'm like, "Hey, how are you doing?" And they don't say anything, and you're like, they're like 9 years old, and you're like, you're fucking old enough to respond to me.
To know
Like,
that this is wrong.
This is rude.
yeah.
You're being rude. But what I have to say that I think Zoe's mom is a total Idina Menzel knockoff.
Oh, first thought that I had.
Idina Menzel.
No clue who that is.
Oh, Frozen. Let it go.
I'm
And
not
she
a
was in
babysitter. I don't
Rent.
watch these movies.
She was in Rent. You didn't-
Wicked.
Oh yeah, she
I'm
was in
also not
Wicked. I
a
forgot
musical
about that
theater
one.
person.
She's Adele Dazeem.
Adele Dazeem.
I got nothing.
You don't remember that? When John Travolta introduced her and he totally fucked up her name, which is Idina Menzel. And
could
he,
see the panic in his
Yeah, he
eyes.
was like reading the prompter at like an award show, and he was like, and up next, we have the incredibly talented Adele Dazeem.
So
like-
I'm John Travolta.
Best moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
John was like, oh, John Travolta can't read. Poor thing.
Oh, it was beautiful. It's a good moment.
Yeah.
Frankie is reading and walking when she runs into Jonah, who is drumming up support for a charity called New Lane Addiction Center. Jonah notes her book and says, "Spoiler alert, life is meaningless," to which Frankie agrees, but it doesn't have to be. Jonah wants her to volunteer, to which Frankie says she'd rather be alone. Jonah mocks her, typical spoiled Frankie with her hashtag rich people problems. He calls out many of the ways which she is privileged and basically reads the shit out of her. The kids he helps have real problems, not just high school breakups. He asks her to bring some tennis balls to the Woods Wars, something she has a million of, so it's perfect.
So I did a lot of research this episode for some reason. I was really obsessed with wanting to know what she was reading. I had to rewind and pause several times to get a snap of it. It's The Strangers by Albert Camus, which I've never heard of before. I didn't read that in high school.
Okay.
So anyways, nothing to add to that. I just wanted to know what it was. I think he's totally using her for the tennis balls. Like, I think he was like, there's a rich girl. She's definitely got tennis balls. And I want to play this game that involves tennis balls. Am I crazy? Like, I feel like that's the reason why he picked her out.
Could be.
When Jonah says to Frankie that some guy who's barely good enough for you dumped you and now you feel lost, Winston is so much better than her. Like, shut your mouth, Jonah, because we don't even deserve Winston.
That is the vibe I got. That is the
Winston
vibe I got.
Is a jewel. Like, he is the most precious thing. Yeah, no, he's just
Never wears deodorant.
He's hilarious and he's nice and like, oh yes, he's just goofy.
it.
Like,
Always saying the weird thing.
I love Winston. I'm in love with Winston. And yeah, I'm really upset that he would say something like that because that's not true. Just because I don't remember because I didn't get to that part yet. I don't know if Winston dumped her or not.
Yeah. I think he did.
Yeah, well, Winston is 1000% better than Frankie. So,
Aw.
deserved.
I kind of like Frankie and her
I mean, I don't-
emo-ness.
I don't hate Frankie, but I love Winston.
Winston.
But Jonah is straight edge. So I haven't gotten to his backstory in my rewatch of the Next Generation.
Me either.
So I don't know why he's straight edge, but I'm assuming that's the reason why he specifically worked with this group.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Because what is the name of the group? It's like something about addiction, right?
It was New Lane Addiction Center.
Yeah, so like I think it has 100% to do with the fact that he's straight edge, and that's why he's like a sponsor essentially.
Yeah.
Because he
Right.
probably had a drug problem at some point, but we haven't gotten to it yet.
Yeah.
Because he has an X on his hand, so and I
Right.
think that's purposeful,
That is-
right?
Yeah, totally.
We haven't talked about it, but I think it's purposeful.
Hunter is talking on his giant set of headphones to drum up donations for better computers. He gets more and more aggressive as he speaks. They just have computers lying around. Just give them over. Miles and Esme sneak up behind him and laugh at his pain. He has a minor meltdown, telling them to leave him alone. They don't understand. He needs these computers, and he promised the Nerd Squad. Miles, clearly high as a kite, insinuates that Hunter is only doing this to bang Yael at a hotel in Vancouver. What a weirdo. He suggests, like, gross. He talks that way to their... I guess you and Beth kind of talk that way to each other.
Yeah, me and my sister, yeah.
It's like, who talks to their brother like that? Miles pokes at him for his lame hobby that nobody cares about, and Esme loves it. Hunter explains that they actually have fans, but they don't buy it, and they mock him like, ladies, please, no autographs. But somehow this inspires Hunter. Cosplaying, that's the answer.
So this is the beginning hint of Hunter coming in on the crazy train. Choo choo.
Yeah.
Also, I really loved the line that Esme had about like, ladies, please. Like, Esme is so entertaining, that crazy bitch.
Is Esme dating Miles?
In this episode, yes, they're dating for a few episodes,
Right.
Because she's been like she's her own crazy train. She's usually the one that gets the choo choo, but this episode she's just moderately crazy by showing up to school high.
Oh, good for her. I also, here's the thing. I'm trying to build a gaming computer right now. They're very expensive. It's like $2,000 for a competent gaming computer. And he's like, just give them to me. Just give me them.
Right? How
Like,
that is not how fundraising works.
Four gaming computers? That's
just
a lot of money.
What are you doing with them? You just have them lying. Who was he calling? Who just has the gaming computer lying
No
around?
one does.
Some computer company, I don't know.
Like Best Buy. He's on the phone with Best Buy. Be like,
You guys
lying
have
around.
extras.
You're a multi-million-dollar company.
I see computers just lying around everywhere here.
Right.
Come on, give me one of them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
actually,
yeah.
because this did get filmed a couple years ago. Maybe he was calling Radio Shack and was like, "You're out of business anyways."
Just give it to me. Give me them. I also will say that cosplay is a way to make money for some humans, and maybe so in high school, I guess. But they only have one. Okay, here's where the misogyny comes in. It's not, men are not making money off of cosplay.
Oh yeah, right.
Men are making no money off of cosplay.
Yeah.
It's like 98%
no
women.
women are like jerking off or like
No.
rubbing one out to
Right.
dude dressed as Thor.
as like a cute crab, like that one guy was. Like, no one is doing that.
oh my god, he's in a Spider-Man costume.
So like they've got the one girl. She was rocking it. She looked great. They all did. They all looked really good. But I don't imagine that's a viable source of, maybe as like a GoFundMe, it's a cool thing. It's like, oh, we're all high schoolers together, and we're in this
Right.
together, kind of thing. But as far as just making it off of cosplay, it's a funny concept.
I like the idea that Yael had all 4 of those costumes in her locker because he's like, "You still got that cosplay costume?" And she's like, "Yup."
Right here.
24/7,
And
always.
she had like 4 costumes jammed in her locker, one of which is like almost a Chewbacca costume.
Yes.
Like that's gotta be bulky.
She's got a huge wig. Yeah.
Yeah,
No
I
way.
was
No
like,
way.
"How are those in your locker? You have a storage locker? Yeah, like the basement of the school or something? I don't know."
But yeah, so I thought it was interesting that he's kind of like explaining to Miles and Esme, like, no, people like watching this. Like,
Which is true.
there's actually people out there who will even pay to watch stuff like this. Like, I watch like Minecraft Let's Plays a lot. Like, I love the Yogs cast and like Achievement Hunter. I like love to watch other people play video games. It's like soothing.
See, like, I guess, I mean, I always think about it when I babysit kids and they're like watching somebody play Minecraft. I'm like, what are you doing? But I mean, a lot of our formative years, me and Jesse, were spent like at
Watching Tim and Dustin.
yeah, watching our brothers / cousins play video games in like my living room.
Absolutely. I also
And like chiming in, like, hey, there's the
Yes.
there's
Oh,
what
yeah.
you need right over there. Like,
It's
Yeah.
so fun. I also think that if you're gonna do something like this, where they're all in high school and they are like the generation that is they're watching these things.
Oh, yeah.
For them to be like, no one watches that. It's like, well, you're just wrong.
Yeah, you're just wrong.
And
yeah.
it's not like a thing about, oh, I'm popular, so I don't do it. Because, like, it's very popular to do now. So I feel
Right.
like that's a weird thing to deny. Where it's like, that doesn't make you cool. That just makes you, like, really out of touch,
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah, nerd culture is actually like really in right now.
Yeah,
like
totally.
You really like the nerds have made their comeback. Like technology, man, really brought them out of the woodworks.
Yeah, good for them.
Glad you had a cape.
Thank
That's
you.
the only reason why you have a following on
Thank
YouTube
you.
is because you had a cape in high school.
I really made a glow up for sure.
Woo! Thank God.
Not just one cape, Carly.
I'm sorry. You're right. You're right. You're right.
collection.
I didn't mean to insult the fact that you've had multiple. Yeah.
Multiple capes.
Did you have a fedora? That's the real question.
Thankfully, I did not have a
thank
fedora.
God.
Yeah,
Okay.
Just
I was gonna
capes.
kick you out.
You're gonna be like, well,
It's about time to wrap this up,
Tamara coming in on the misogyny train with her goddamn fedora. Choo choo.
Thankfully, no. I
Yeah.
just thought they were so kind of like ribbon dancing. I wanted to do that with capes, you know?
That's not even a thing.
No,
But
no,
maybe
it's not.
that should be a sketch on your channel. Maybe that's what needs to get made.
Yeah, I still have some, so
I was going to say,
perhaps.
they bring you joy, so you weren't going to get rid of them. They should really be framed.
Giant frames on my wall.
I can try to find a picture of my weird high school thing, which was a pink plastic Barbie suitcase that I carried around.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, I remember that. Oh
It
my
was
God.
like full of stickers and toys from the Dollar Tree.
Oh my God.
Oh, I loved the Dollar Tree.
Me and my best friend at the time had Dollar Tree Thursdays. We would go every Thursday and we'd get like props for drama class.
I love that. I love that. We would have been friends for sure.
Yeah.
If my capes
Definitely.
didn't freak you out, we would have been good friends.
I mean, I was known for different colors. I went through like I still go through color periods. I'm in blue right now, as you
see.
can see. But I was really into pink in high school, and like there were actually like old upperclassmen who would refer to me as the pink girl because I was literally like always wearing pink, and I would do like crazy awful pink sparkly eyeshadow, which I did it by putting specifically lipstick on my eyelids and then putting glitter on top
God.
of it.
Oh my
So it was really pink. Like
We
it,
would have been
yeah,
all friends.
I looked sick.
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
definitely looked like there was something wrong with me, but it was sparkly. So, and then actually, this is the funny part, is because when I would cry, it would be pink and sparkly. I'd be like unicorn tears.
It's the dream.
Yeah, exactly. Oh God, high school.
Yeah, for sure.
So Tristan rolls up to Zoe, who is buried in her laptop. Fighting with your mom again? I can tell because Gilmore Girls, now streaming on Netflix. Zoe explains her mom forbade her from hanging with Grace because her mom isn't cool with lesbians. Tristan questions if she suspects Zoe of being one too. His parents knew before he did. Zoe's mom is a strict Roman Catholic who is not okay with her being a lesbian, but is totally okay with her being exploited for television. All right.
True.
Zoe refocuses on finding her dad. She suspects it's some dude from the Gilmore Girls because her mom was an extra on the show years ago. Acting is in the genes. She wants to hunt him down and figure it out, but Tristan is not game. Grace, on the other hand, thinks it'll be a great time.
There wasn't anything weird about that scene too much. I didn't have anything like odd to comment about it because I was like, okay.
I just love how much they're plugging Gilmore Girls. On
They
this episode.
really are. Yeah.
It's on Netflix ever since it's been on Netflix. Yeah, it's on Netflix. I'm streaming it on Netflix right now.
On Netflix, and they all pan to the camera. And look
Right,
straight at
literally,
it.
like, hey, thanks, Netflix. I love Netflix is such a whore for itself.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't know if you watched, Jesse, any of the like the holiday movies that Netflix came out with this
No.
year. In literally every one, they were either I like from it wasn't that they mentioned Netflix, it's that they literally would show them
Watching.
panning through Netflix to like either pick a movie or it was specifically another Netflix holiday movie they were watching, and it was just like, Netflix, you are fucking going there, like inceptioning the shit out of your own network.
I'm such a Netflix fangirl, and I very much appreciated it. I also just love that they were like, all right, we got this actor from Gilmore Girls. Let's fucking plug.
I Googled, like, because first of all, I didn't watch Gilmore Girls, so I didn't remember who he was.
I had no idea who he was.
He plays Rory's dad.
Okay.
So, and it's like a strange dad. Like, they have a good relationship, but like, he's not in every episode, obviously.
No, yeah.
Because they can't have the witty banter that she and her mom has. I wanted to know if he was a Degrassi fan specifically, because he is from Canada, specifically Saskatoon. I was like, yes, Saskatoon. But I didn't find anything. Like, I think they literally were just like, hey, we've got Gilmore Girls on Netflix. If we can get this Canadian actor to be on this show, we can plug it. Like, that's what I felt like they were doing on purpose.
Right. So the Nerd Squad is decked out in their LARPing gear for a crowdsourcing campaign video. I'm amazed at the idea that they actually have enough fans to pull this off. During the video, they make a few low-key sexist remarks like, rest in pieces, ladies, and oops, dropped your purse. And I fucking wish that this was the state of online harassment.
Right? Oh my God. Nobody would be complaining if it was.
Like that, I can handle.
Yeah.
So
I could give it back. I can just like sass it right back to you.
I just personally have lost count of how many times I've been told to get raped on the internet, and I'm like, this would be a walk in the park.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
I love that they're hinting at it, but it's a good thing. It's a really good thing to tackle. And I just feel like for a teen drama show, awesome. I love what you're doing and the message is coming across, but it is so low caliber,
right?
Like the actual realities that a lot of teens do deal with.
Right.
It's a teen show, and teens are mostly on the internet, so they are dealing with these things already.
Yeah.
So to make it so low stakes is kind of like,
Yeah.
oh, I like the idea, but
Because I wonder if it's a matter of like, if you think about it, they're complaining about it so early on, but it's interesting because you're like, oh, they're complaining now when this is all really mild.
Yeah.
This isn't that bad.
You're also, you're in high school. Like, oh man, even before the internet, I mean, it existed when I was in high school, but like on a much lower scale.
Not like this.
Yeah. And so, I don't know, you just heard that stuff walking down the hallway. So like, it's a different, not that, of course that's not okay, but it's just, I don't know. It's a little mild, I would say.
Yeah, it was just kind of like I would be overlooking those comments. Like, I might note to myself, oh, that was a little sexist, but I'm not going to be like, fuck you, that was so sexist. I'd be like,
Totally. Yeah, totally. Also, super unrealistic that they were making any money off of that at all.
that they were getting like actual.
Yeah.
Unless it was like a parent club, I don't know.
Like, I definitely say, yes, you could have fans. There's a lot of people who like to watch, but I just don't believe you guys have fans.
That's
Right.
the thing, exactly. Exactly. Because, like, didn't they just start in, like, the episode before?
Yeah, I mean, they've only been a school club for, like, a couple of weeks, but
Yeah.
I don't know if they've been playing together and developing fans that way, like, before that. I'm not sure.
Totally.
Also, I wanted to point out that these are supposed to be the nerdy kids, and yet their on-camera presence really good.
Really good.
Like, they took some on-camera
Their
classes.
timing, yeah.
Yeah.
The production quality, too, was great.
Yeah.
I love how they mentioned that as well. They're like, for what we spent on this, which was $0, it looks fabulous.
Like, I'm just like, they shouldn't have the charisma to do that. Like,
No.
I had to take voiceover classes to learn how to, like, talk like that.
Yeah.
And so you're like, if you're just rando kids that play video games, you should not be that good at this.
100%.
I don't know. I would say we were pretty good at it as kids.
Yeah, but
before we took any classes, we used to make radio shows all the time,
That's
and we
true.
would like practice our radio voices. And
But we did dramas.
Yeah.
Like, we all liked theater stuff.
Right.
I don't know. These aren't theater kids. These are strictly gamers. I don't know.
Gamers.
Like, I would suspect that VJ would be good at it.
Right.
Because he has a personality. But the other three, I mean, well, they all have personalities, but like, I don't know. I was just like, they're really good on camera.
I also like, yeah, it's specifically that it's on camera. I guess they do stuff online, so people are always seeing them. But when I first moved to Chicago and I started doing things on film, I was so awkward on camera that every time I flashed the peace sign. Every time a camera would go on me, I would like flash the peace sign. And my boyfriend, who's also a YouTuber, was like, "Do you realize that you do this?" I was like, "Nah, no, I'm gonna stop right now though." So like, that kind of awkwardness is what you expect. So they crushed it. 10 out of 10. Good for them.
Is there a game on the internet that literally is just killing women? The way that they make this game seem like it is there a game where they're just killing women?
I mean,
Not that I know about.
I'm sure there is, because there are so many games out there, but like not a popular one, not something that you'd play in school.
Right.
Yeah, because like I was just like, I feel like most games, they have one or two female characters to choose from.
Yeah.
And that's that. Like,
Well, and like what you just said, that's true. It could exist, but definitely this wouldn't be the game that was like the Fortnite of games. Like no one would be playing this in a school.
I mean, there definitely is like a thing with the armor that they put on women in these video games. Like that was true to life.
Oh, yeah.
Running around with like a leather bikini on trying to fight, like that's not what you would wear.
yeah, and all the dudes, literally are wearing armor so they don't get killed, whereas women are just like, I'm wearing nipple tassels on a thong. If you cut my stomach, I'm going to die.
That is definitely true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's in a lot of games. But so yeah, they need $5,000 for the campaign to succeed. They all love the video. VJ thinks he looked great. Yael is distracted for some reason though, but she says, yeah, it's great. But she's worried that people will think it's stupid. Hunter doesn't think it's worth trying to win people over who don't already get it. He wants to try everything possible to get to the finals, regardless of if people think he's a dork.
There's a lot of back and forth with Hunter, I found in this episode, where like half the time he's like, oh, the populars don't like me and that makes me scared. But then also he's like, yeah, I don't care at all if people don't like me.
Right. Make up your mind, Hunter.
Right.
Come on, Hunter. I know he's on the crazy train. I'm sorry.
He's a choo-choo.
Shay scowls as she and Frankie pass Lola and Tiny casually sucking face in the hallway. This should not be allowed. Frankie asks Shay if she's spoiled, an answer that Shay sends straight to voicemail. Frankie explains that she's changing her ways. She's going to volunteer. Lola shows up and wants her to change plans and come out with her and Tiny tonight. She doesn't want to be one of those girls who doesn't go out with her boyfriend and friends at the same time. I didn't really know what kind of girls she was referring to.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know that was a thing.
But Frankie promised Jonah, the guy whose hairstyle needs a bath, according to Lola. Frankie says she can't bail, so it's just Lola, Tiny, and Shay. But Shay cannot handle that. She begs Frankie to come. You're not going to change the world in a day, and Shay needs her.
So I gotta say, when I was taking notes on this episode, I was like looking down, and I just heard there's an announcement that's being made at the beginning of the scene that's like, if you're interested in volunteering for different volunteer opportunities, and then I hear Shay be like, that should not be allowed on school property. And I was like, what is she talking about? And so I had to rewind it. So I was like, why would that not be allowed on school property? And I went back and I was like, oh, they're making out. Okay.
Disgusting.
That makes sense. That makes a lot more sense than just randomly thinking that volunteer opportunity should not be allowed on school property. Man, Lola is being so selfish. Really awkward for Lola to be like, we all three need to hang out. Mm-hmm. And then when Frankie's like, I can't, she's like, that's fine. We'll be a fun little threesome, which I also thought was a little winky of Lola to say fun little threesome when she knows that Tiny did like Shay and that Shay liked Tiny. So I'm like,
Oh, I don't like that at all.
No.
Yeah.
It's not cute.
It's a love triangle at this point. Jonah does not look like he needs a bath. He's just going for a look because I low-key love Jonah. So we discovered when I was watching with Anna that Jonah and Miles are in a band together in real life.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And it's called, oh my God, it's called Eleanor Shore.
Eleanor Shore.
And it's like, and it's like totally like a emo acoustic type of thing. Like,
I need to look this up.
But I would have dated Jonah in high school over Winston because I like Winston now, but Carly wouldn't.
High school
Carly probably would have been way into Jonah because he was more like my high school boyfriend. Anna's crush is Miles. And she was like, I just got to look him up just to be sure. I'm like, he's of age now. It's fine. And she was like, he's 21. They're both 21. I feel gross.
Damn it.
So
Honestly, when I was in high school, I probably would have gone for a Hunter.
you would have.
Dude.
Yeah.
That angsty white boy, nerdy angsty white
Same.
boy.
That was my type.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I mean, Jonah is also equally angsty, but in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
I would have been like, he's so talented.
Okay, so now you would go for Winston. Who would you go for?
Now.
Oh. Probably the same.
Ooh, he's dangerous.
I'm dating a nerdy, angsty white boy now. Like,
That's true. Yeah, I feel like
some things never change.
I feel like Johnny would kind of be Hunter in high school.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
No, he was worse. He was an asshole in high
That's
school.
about right.
He tells me stories. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Goodness.
We all have our history.
We do.
Our dark secret.
Oh, absolutely. I would probably date the dad from Gilmore Girls.
Okay, that's not fair. That's not fair. You have to pick a high schooler, okay? We all just sounded creepy picking high schoolers.
I date Principal Snake.
Principal Snake, yeah. Although, who knows? I might have dated Zig. I don't know.
Yeah, Zig. Zig is a maybe.
He's so stupid.
like,
but like
I would say Jonah, but Jonah annoys me.
I
so.
love Jonah. Anyways, these are important.
I don't like his. You're a rich girl. Like shut
But
up.
I feel like that would have been me in high school. Like, you know what I mean? I would have been there like, yeah, you tell her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it because I'm really nice, but,
But I love that
I'm
you're
thinking
saying
it. Yeah, because that's how my high school boyfriend was. Like, he just, like, didn't talk. And so people would be like, Carly, I think your boyfriend hates me. And I'd be like, no. And then, like, I'd walk away like, nah, he does. He hates everybody.
So Hunter is deep in his phone while the nerd squad is practicing. They're struggling on these laggy machines. Yael points out that Hunter isn't practicing despite wanting the practice. He shows her that they're already up to $1,000. They might actually pull this off. They start to plan, but President Tristan interrupts. People are talking. Hunter doesn't care if they get made fun of, but that's not the problem. People are calling them misogynists. There's a meeting tomorrow to figure it out. Hunter thinks that's stupid. Tristan goes, don't shoot the messenger. And Hunter goes, then who do I shoot?
Then who do I shoot?
Hunter is aggro as fuck. Like, chill, dude.
He's so aggressive.
Another Hunter crazy train.
He just goes off
Hunter,
on
chill
nothing.
out.
Then who do I shoot?
Jesus.
Yeah, Hunter freaks me out. I'll be honest. This episode wasn't the best for me to jump into with Hunter specifically. I feel like I got everyone else's gist really well, and hearing that Hunter is on a path to some sadness makes sense. But like just seeing this one episode, I was like, damn, son, you are extreme. Some of the choices that you are making are extreme, and I love it, but it's a lot.
Well, their whole family is extreme. Like, they are just the quintessential, like, troubled rich family. You understand Hunter's background and you feel bad, but it's also like, that's not how you cope with things,
Right.
and you need to learn coping skills.
Yeah.
Because that's not how you react.
Hunter needed to take a back seat and let, like, Yael take the lead or something. Like, he should
Right.
not have been
Yeah.
the one talking to anybody.
Well, that's another thing. It'll come up. We'll talk about it. But later on, like, Yael comes up to him and is like, you need to fix this. And it's like, well, why don't you fix it?
Right.
You're
Why
both
sit up
clearly
to him?
struggling.
Yeah, like, you're clearly more even-keeled than any of them.
Yeah,
Like,
he is struggling, girl. Come on.
but hey, I gotta say, you know, at least Yael didn't get strapped with the emotional baggage and the, what is it? No,
Oh, emotional labor.
yeah, she didn't get stuck with the emotional labor of having to
Right.
clean up these boys' messes.
That's true.
So,
That's good.
That's good, but
You're right. You're right.
So the video they made wasn't super sexist. We talked about that. I was shocked, I guess, the fact that they have like student council meeting about it. That's actually a lot better than I feel like in American schools have a lot of like zero tolerance policy.
Yeah.
Where the fact that he's like, we're having an emergency student council meeting, like you're gonna get to say your piece, as opposed to I think in America it would have just been like you're shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah. That or it just wouldn't be addressed at all.
Yeah.
I like that they're like, let's talk this through.
Canada.
Is nice. I know. Gosh. So close yet so far away.
Yeah, right.
Grace and Zoe are creeping around a film set looking for David Sutcliffe's trailer. A crew member frantically shrugs as two old-timey gals stroll by in the background. I loved it.
I didn't even notice that.
No, me either.
It was really expressive. They bust into the trailer and Zoe instantly regrets it. She didn't expect it to work at all. Grace insists they start looking for DNA.
Makes sense, though.
Zoe freaks out over the possible outcomes, to which Grace says it's better to know the truth than not. Zoe isn't ready, but she also doesn't want to live a lie. They start searching when Maybe Dad shows up wearing some old-timey gentleman's garb. Probably a cape, I forget.
He left his cape on set. He had hung it up in the last scene.
He's gonna call security, so sit down.
At first I was like, how the fuck did they get in here? But then I remembered, again, this is backstory that I didn't realize. Zoe was on a TV show. So she maybe has an actor card or something. Like an equity card maybe got her SAG card.
On the set. Right.
Like, I'm assuming she must have some sort of SAG card that would have gotten her in. That's because at first I was like, this is unbelievable. And then I was like, oh, wait. She's an actress. Okay. Okay.
She also knows the ins and outs of the studio, perhaps.
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But all things I didn't realize until I watched The Next Generation. So anyways, for some reason, Grace picks up his underwear first.
Yeah.
And she's like, ooh, size large. Because men wearing double XL underwear, that means their dick is huge. Like, I was like, why are you like, yeah, size large?
Right,
like, what does that mean?
Your dad has a big dick.
Yeah, that's the band size. Like, what?
That is not how they size underwear.
It's not. Like, if that was the case, all men would be wearing double XL underwear.
Underwear, dick size, large.
Right?
Really embarrassing way to size underwear.
Right? I'm looking for some long dick underwear. Do you have any size long dick?
I mean, that is how they size bras, so.
That's true.
True.
Well,
True.
damn.
Well, damn.
Maybe that's how they should start. But yeah. And again, so like, she's like, no, we need DNA. It's like, okay, unless that's dirty underwear, which I'm assuming you wouldn't be touching it so intimately if it was dirty, there's not going to be any DNA on that.
Right.
We'll find one piece of hair and split.
Find hair. Find some hair. Yeah.
I understand her being like, this is too much. I did not think we would get this far. Because I'm like, same girl.
Yeah,
I
right?
did not think you would either. But since you're there, like, grab some hair and
You know
run.
what, though? I also honestly started thinking about, like, if I was to be doing this and I was looking for hair, think about finding one strand of hair. What would you do with it? Like, you can't really put it in your pocket.
Right.
You would just kind of have to grip it between two fingers and hold on really and he's a man, so it's not like long hair. It's not long hair. Like, you would just have to hold on to it.
I'm picturing her in an Uber on the way home, just like holding it up.
I have been picturing a long strand of hair.
Yeah, he's a man. He has short hair.
You're so right.
He's got a rat tail, though.
I have been picturing a long
It's
ass
like,
strand.
oh, thank God, David Sutcliffe. What is his name? What? God damn it! I'm gonna have to keep looking back.
Sutcliffe, David Sutcliffe.
Yes, thank God, David Sutcliffe had a rat's tail at one point, and he keeps it with him as his lucky rat tail. And we're gonna take this rat tail home with us and check his DNA. No, that's not how that works.
You're right.
Unfortunately,
Oh, God.
I just assumed.
In my mind, I'm just picturing them running with one strand long hair.
Ribbon dancing with it.
Fashion it into a cape.
There
if
you go.
will.
If you get enough, might as well. Okay.
I made this cape out of my biological father's hair.
Turns out he wasn't my biological father, but he has killer hair.
But he is on Gilmore Girls. It's just streaming on Netflix right now.
Then they all do a high five together.
Tristan is ordering everyone in the student council meeting to sit down. It kind of like flows from the last scene. They need to simmer and stop sniping each other. Maya takes the floor, representing the feminist club. She complains that they make a lot of sexist remarks during their game. Paranoid, reactionary MRA Hunter accuses her of spying on them while they publicly play in the gym.
Because what does he think they're saying? Like, he knows they say worse things at practice, probably. Yeah. He's like, you were spying on us. And she's like, no, we heard you say the H&M comment, and we're offended.
It reminds me of like when I'm like on Twitter and I see someone say something just totally asinine and I'm like, dude, what the fuck? And they'll be like, why are you spying on me? Why are you stalking me? I'm like, I responded to your public tweet that you hashtagged so that people would find it. Like,
Right? Stop disagreeing with me.
you're such a stalker because
Yeah.
you replied to me. Like, I don't even know who you are, pal.
Yeah, I guarantee I'm not stalking you, my friend.
So she points out some of their remarks, to which he agrees he'll stop. But that isn't the only problem. The targets of the violence are scantily clad women. Hunter corrects them. It's not women. They're not even human. Check and mate.
Well, he also says they can change the characters. He's like, we don't
Right.
have to fight the women.
It's like, then why are you?
So yeah, I don't know why they were in the first place. Sounds like this problem could have been avoided.
But,
And easily fixed, but then Hunter is like, well,
Yeah, like literally,
Not
it's
today.
it's if he had come in rationally and was like, we're not gonna say those things. We're gonna fight other male characters, I guess, instead of these female characters. Like they probably would have been good, but then Hunter has to go on the Hunter crazy train. Choo choo.
So Maya points out the tons of cleave that these ladies have. Zig is in the background kind of rolling his eyes as Goldie points out that the sight of hurting and killing women can be triggering for victims of violence.
Triggering. Here it comes.
Hunter likens these things to cheerleaders and footballers, but this game specifically targets these women-like creatures and normalizes sexual violence. The victims can't ignore it because now it's all over the school. So Hunter laughs at the idea of things being triggering. He's triggered by the popular kids and the jocks who torture him. Okay, like, maybe. But then he says he's triggered by Goldie's headscarf because she might blow them all up, conveniently ignoring that white men have been historically the biggest terrorists.
Oh, he says you're giving him too much credit by saying headscarf. He said headgear.
True.
You're giving him a little more credit.
But then he says everyone's scared. That's high school.
Medium true.
I mean, you know, he like starts out okay, you know, popular kids bully me and like, so footballers are triggering to me, but like the thing about the headscarf, like what?
Yeah, dude, you fucked up.
you fucked up.
He like
all your
he
credibility
always
gone.
almost has it and then he says some bullshit. Like
Hunter. It just I find it so funny when people get super triggered by the word triggered.
Yeah.
Oh, I
It's
know.
so funny to me. So it's like just oh man, you're ruining your whole point right there. Is that they're saying that they're feeling a certain way and you have to be like, "Oh, I can't believe you."
But clearly, the word triggered you to be triggered.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
So there we go.
Yeah.
But the thing, like, a lot of people make fun of the concept of being triggered, but it's like been a psychological concept for a long time. It's not even just like I'm triggered by this, you know, because I have PTSD. Like people with addiction get triggered, people with eating disorders get triggered. Like that's just like a common word in psychology that people have taken and run with it, like to make fun of other people for having feelings.
Yeah.
Like-
It's
Yeah.
like it's very much turned into internet culture, but it was never that to start off with.
Right. We're back at the trailer, and Maybe Dad is ratting out Grace and Zoe to security. Maybe Dad makes a casual Netflix reference. I have all these new stalkers. Thanks, Netflix.
Yeah, Gilmore Girls goes up on Netflix, and a whole new wave of little teen stalkers come to town.
Thanks, Netflix.
As if she's not the first.
Yeah, for sure. How many times has this happened?
Weird teenagers just showing up.
As somebody who like mildly watched Gilmore Girls, like when my sister was watching it, I had no recollection of which character he was.
No clue.
He wasn't Rory. He wasn't Lorelai. He wasn't the fucking guy who owned the diner.
He wasn't any of the three
wasn't
like hot
Jesse,
boyfriends,
and he wasn't
right?
Luke.
Dean, like
Dean, sorry. Luke? No,
in
Luke the other
what
one.
way was
Yeah,
he getting?
I was like,
That's
I don't think
hilarious.
anybody was like, the dad, Rory's biological father.
I bet though that the actor, read that line and was like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, right. I was like, oh, guys, we're going to
Jeez
say this.
Louise.
Come
Nobody's
on.
bothering me anywhere. I wish they would.
Yeah, right. Please bother me.
Yeah, I was like, I don't even know who that actor is. I'm like, I think they made him up. Oh, he was really on Gilmore Girls. Okay.
Right.
Never mind. He's portraying himself. Got it.
Yeah.
But so they explain that they're not stalkers. He might be Zoe's dad. She explains that her mom was an extra, and that's why they need his underwear or blood. And he goes, no one's getting any blood. He says that he's not her dad. He does not sleep with extras. Zoe apologizes and he tells them to just go. He feels bad. But then she overshares that her mom doesn't want her to be a lesbian, to which he explains that everything will be okay. She shouldn't live a lie. He advises her to live her life and make herself happy. Zoe asks if she could call him sometime, to which he says, absolutely not. Like, do not take this little, like, bit of pity I'm taking on you and run with it.
Once again, the whole Inception, and he's like, I know this is going to sound like fatherly advice from some teen show, but it is fatherly advice from some teen show. Oh
Yeah. I actually found myself really enjoying this scene. I thought it was stupid in all the right ways. Like, it was fun. It was fun to watch. It was cute.
Yeah, can I? Or your blood. No one's getting my blood. You're like, what?
Absolutely
Oh my
not.
God. And you know what else I guess I wrote down was that I was surprised that he didn't recognize Zoe as an actress. Not that I mean, she was on a teen drama herself, so like maybe he wouldn't. But it's just so funny because like she was wildly recognized. Like people were losing their mind that she was like at their school because she was like a prominent character on this show.
Right.
So it kind of made me go like, oh, you don't recognize her? If she's like she's a legit actress. Was it like on a recurring show? Like
Not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit? Yeah.
Well,
But anyway.
he's getting bothered by so many young
It's
women
true.
all the time.
I mean,
because of
oh my
Netflix.
goodness. Yeah. I mean, the amount of, kids from Nickelodeon shows. I mean,
right. It's just too much.
yeah, they're all bothering him.
Lola and the gang are all eating ice cream at the Dot, or is it an ice cream parlor? I wasn't sure.
I think it's the same set as the Dot, and they're parading it as an ice cream parlor.
So she ordered cookies and cream, and she got pralines and cream instead. She's super grossed out
Didn't
by
even
it.
look like cookies and cream, you dumb bitch. Those two ice creams don't look alike. You should have noticed when they were fucking scooping it, or right when it got put in front of you. The fact that you put it in your mouth to discover that this is not cookies and cream, which
Yeah.
is black and white.
Then it made it
pralines
all the
and
way.
cream. It had caramel on it. Like, what the fuck? I'm sorry. I'm really mad at Lola this episode.
Wait, really fast. This is so dumb. I do not know what pralines are. What
They're
the hell
nuts.
is this?
I've never known what pralines were.
Because she was like, ew, it's disgusting. And I was like, well, it must be some aggressive flavor.
Pralines. Hold
But I'm
on.
pretty sure it's just like caramely nuts, right?
I'm pretty sure a smooth, sweet substance made by rolling nuts in sugar and grinding the mixture, used especially as a filling for chocolates. Yeah, it's certainly not cookies and cream, but
Sounds delicious.
it sounds delicious.
Not disgusting. Like, she was
But
horrified.
yeah, like she was literally like, "Who came in my mouth? What is this?" But yeah, I don't know. I was just enraged by the fact that cookies and cream is such a specific looking ice cream
Yes.
that it was like you should have noticed the moment it was set in front of you that it was not cookies and cream.
Yeah,
Right.
like all of her friends should have looked at her like, you dumb idiot.
Anyways, sorry, Lola.
But Tiny offers to make it right because Lola's too shy. I'm totally a Lola here. I'd be like, I'll just accept this.
Yeah, I'll just eat this disgusting ice cream.
But Tiny goes up with her to switch it out. Shay is clearly jealous, and Frankie's just, I don't know, Frankie.
Frankie is like, you said it was okay for Lola to date him, so you can't be upset about this.
Right.
And she's like, but I supported you through your break. Like, I've been there for you. Why can't you be there for me? Fair.
Which, fair. Yeah.
Well, Frankie thinks that they should leave and so she can go get to volunteering, but Shay cannot do that because Lola would know that she has a problem with their relationship if she leaves, which Frankie thinks she needs to get over Tiny since she chose not to go for him. But Shay points out that she's not over Winston and it's been like 6 fucking years.
Oh, damn.
It has not even been 6. It's been 6 months, I think. But
Oh, okay.
It's been too
but
long,
that was
right?
Jessie coming out as angry Shay. She just said what Shay wanted to Shay. Wanted to Shay.
Wanted to Shay.
That's what Shay
Shay's
wanted to
gonna
Shay.
She's going to Shay.
But Lola comes back with rainbow ice cream instead.
Again, what the fuck, Lola?
I think she genuinely thought it was cookies and cream.
I think she probably read pralines and cream and thought, oh, that's a weird word for Oreos, and ordered the pralines and cream. And then the dumb bitch went and got a different fucking flavor. You can't do that.
No.
Like, it's one thing if they fucked up. Yeah, if that proprietor
Definitely.
of ice cream messed up your order,
Definitely.
fine. But you get what you originally ordered. You don't get to change your mind again, Lola.
No, definitely not.
Team Shay and Tiny.
Team Shay and Tiny
Hashtag.
forever. I do think that Frankie needs to be there for Shay a little bit more.
Right.
I don't know much of the backstory, but it just seems like, come on,
Being good friends, yeah.
gotta be a good friend.
It's not like she had much of a choice. Like, she wasn't allowed to date.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's like understandable for her to still have these feelings.
I also, though, I feel like Shay should probably just leave and like maybe give a little hint that like maybe we shouldn't be a cute threesome.
Yeah.
Whatever your name is, Lola, Praline girl.
Praline bitch.
Praline bitch, come on.
You're not knowing what fucking cookies and cream looks like, bitch.
So Hunter's got a classic case of nerd rage as he smashes up the only computers they have.
Right?
Yael catches him and screams, "What are you doing?" "It's over," says Hunter. "Canceled." Yael is so disappointed. He's just giving up. He makes a classic free speech argument. "They could say whatever they want, but I can't call an innocent woman a terrorist because of her religion."
What?
She says they're idiots, but what he said was pretty dumb too. But she knows he's not racist and sexist. I mean, he has friends that are people of color and women.
To be fair, Yael is correct. What he said was xenophobic. So
True.
she
true.
can say to
True, she
I
can.
know you're not racist or sexist, because what you said was xenophobic.
So
So
we'll address that later.
later.
He just wants to win the competition, so she tells him to knock off all the toxic masculine bullshit and figure it out.
I'm over here just like, Yael, you're in danger, girl.
Molly, you in danger, girl.
Run.
Girl.
Right? She needs to walk away. This guy is like breaking school property, and she's just
And
like,
it's not like
you're fine. You're not a
he's not
total
ripping
asshole.
up a textbook. He's breaking computers.
One of the only things that is valuable to them.
The only
in
computers
their
you
club.
have.
And also, is it this scene where she calls him her best friend?
I think so.
And it's
Yeah.
like, when was that shown? I know I've
You-
only seen this one episode.
There's only seen
Where
this
the
one
fuck
episode.
was that friendship?
Excuse me. I have never seen them interact before.
Since when have they
this
been
episode.
friends?
They don't even talk like that. This is the first episode I've seen them be
This isn't
friends.
like you.
I'm so glad you're all in, though. You're like, I'm confused. This doesn't make any sense.
It's so aggressive.
Yeah, no. If
Come on.
even if that was my friend, I would be like, that would freak me out. I would
Me
leave the
too.
room. I would not be able to be in the room when he was doing that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that would be trigger the hell out of
Yes,
me.
yes.
Like,
I feel triggered.
much.
Yael definitely, like, this is not good. I don't know why she's not bothered by him just, like, breaking everything in sight.
Yeah.
So Frankie strolls into what I believe is the ravine. She's 2 hours late and all like, hey guys. But she missed everything. And they all had to play capture the flag again because she didn't bring the tennis balls.
What a monster.
God.
Frankie explains something came up and she couldn't get a hold of them. He doesn't care. These kids need dependable people in their lives, and she's more concerned with BFF drama and boys and stuff to follow through with her commitment. She claims she wanted to be here and that she'll do better, but Jonah thinks she's addicted to drama. She's the only person there not trying to change.
He specifically said addicted to the drama of being miserable,
Yeah.
which I was like,
Ooh, it's
also
juicy.
low-key true.
Also me.
Right?
Same.
Totally.
But like, again, she casually strolled up 2 hours late.
Yes.
And was
And
like,
it's just like, hey.
what did I miss? Like, bitch, you are 2 hours late.
That's so rude and
over.
stressful.
Like,
I wouldn't have shown. I would have been like, I would have made an excuse the next day. I would have shown up to school like with tissues and be like, I was so sick. I'm so sorry.
Right.
That just shows the kind of
I was puking. I
awful person
couldn't
I
even
am.
get to my phone.
Yeah, right.
And didn't he point out she didn't even have the tennis balls with her?
Yeah.
So even
Right.
if like they had just been like, oh, let's just eat lunch first, we'll do some team building.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll get here with the tennis balls. No.
Didn't even bring them.
No.
Why are you even here?
She's letting down underprivileged kids that have addiction problems. Or maybe their parents do. I'm not sure. It's not quite clear, but
And oh, Frankie, girl, come on.
Grace comforts Zoe as they walk down the street. Look on the bright side. You can rule him out. Zoe feels totally alone. She has no one. Grace says her mom isn't that bad, but then Zoe reveals that her mom does not approve of their relationship.
she didn't say why. She just said she couldn't hang out with her. She didn't say why. And she didn't mention any
Right.
homophobia. She was just like, my mom doesn't want me hanging out with you.
It's the blue hair.
But Grace says she isn't alone. She has her. She broke into a TV star's trailer, like, hello. Zoe plants one on her, and they just kind of stand there awkwardly after. Like, they stand there a weird amount of time.
That's true. And Zoe has a weird look on
just
her
like
face.
Yes.
looking at each other.
Yeah. But I will say that I think Zoe picked a killer moment to kiss Grace. Like, I think that was the moment to do it.
I agree.
It made sense. It wasn't necessarily natural because it's not like they were like next to each other, like really close.
Yeah.
But like it felt like the right moment to me.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like obvious when she's like, I'm so alone. Like, Grace is right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right? Like literally she just your fucking best friend Tristan was like hard pass.
Was like, nah.
Yeah. And she
Right.
went with you.
Yeah.
So
Frankie trudges through the courtyard of Hollingsworth Estate when she runs into a sleeping Winston. Why is he even there after narking?
they're still best friends.
Winston wakes up and is like, oop, bye. But Frankie asks the obvious question, why are you here? To which Winston replies that he fell asleep while waiting on Miles's flaky ass. But he's basically never home anymore, according to Frankie. She thinks he's on drugs. Winston corrects her, an entire pharmacy. Winston is down to comfort Frankie despite it not being his job anymore. She repeats her personal monologue about growth and change and nothing being the same. She can't be happy again, yada yada, wishes she could go back. She performs this at least twice a week.
Literally. I was laughing so hard today when Bethany, my sister, she was like, I really relate to Frankie because she's like, what do you mean I can't be spoiled and depressed? And she's like, that's me. I'm spoiled and depressed. And I was like, oh my God, that's so true.
It is you.
Listen,
that is you,
depression
Beth.
doesn't discriminate.
No,
It's
it
true.
doesn't. It doesn't care if you're spoiled. You can still be depressed. It chooses its
Except
victims.
like they all have like these mental illness signs and they're all rich enough to get therapy and yet none of them get it.
Right. So sad. This made me think of the fact that Winston's asleep in the chair waiting. It actually made me think of a story that I know that my sister's going to be at home laughing when she listens to this. Our next door neighbors, they actually had a set of twins, boy-girl twins. And the girl twin, I don't know, man, I hope she's not listening. I'm sure everybody follows this really religiously. I would say she was more enthusiastic about being friends with me than I was about her. And she was a grade younger than me, so like, whatever.
Totally.
So anyways, she showed up one day to play with me. I was not home. I don't know where I was. We never locked our doors, New Hampshire, whatever. So I don't think she even knocked. I think she just came in and went up to find me and couldn't find me. And I wasn't home. And so she went into Bethany's room where Bethany was sleeping. And she sat on the recliner in Bethany's room and waited. And like Bethany rolled over and she was just sitting there watching her sleep.
No.
And she's like, what are you doing? And she was like, oh, well, Carly's not here. Do you want to play with me? Bethany was like, no. And then rolled back over.
Oh no, that's terrible. No, you can't be here right now.
I was like, why are you in my room?
You can't be here.
He's so freaked out.
Yeah, it was real weird. And that's not even probably the weirdest thing that girl ever did. She did some real weird things.
Strange.
She
kid.
seems very normal and well-adjusted now, but
Totally.
but it was a really weird thing back then.
Hunter approaches Tristan and Goldie, who are constantly fielding student council issues.
Yeah, right.
They're always doing student council. They have like no other plot. That's why Tristan couldn't help Zoe, because he's too busy with student council.
I mean, truthfully, it seems like quite a burden.
So Hunter is acting all contrite, please don't shut us down. Goldie asks what exactly was the point he was trying to make when he called her a terrorist. He claims he's just trying to make a point about irrational fear. He doesn't actually think she's a terrorist.
He thinks it's stupid.
Yeah. He thinks people who think that are stupid.
Yeah.
He offers a compromise. He'll quit trash talking and get rid of the ladies. But then there would be no female representation. It's like, okay, Goldie, we need like something here. She's just like, quickly comes up, there'll be no women.
Right, come on.
Hunter points out there's a girl on the team, but there aren't any on any of the other teams.
However, they can't control that.
Right.
They can't be calling other schools and being like, hey, we have a problem with the fact that you don't have any women on your gaming squad.
Yeah.
Hunter puts his foot in his mouth again. It's not his fault that guys are better than girls at video games. He tries to explain himself. He's just a mess. Goldie suggests a different video game, like Wii Bowling. But this is...
Probably ridiculous. That is ridiculous. There were a lot of ridiculous things said in this conversation, that being the most ridiculous.
I'm actually imagining all these characters competing in a Wii bowling tournament.
Like you're in high school, you can go bowl.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Oh, man.
We might as well just regular bowl at that rate.
Yeah, right. Join the bowling team.
But, so this is the video game that everyone plays. They wouldn't have anyone to compete against if they switched. The PTA wants them shut down, and Tristan has to listen. Hunter calls BS on Tristan fighting for them, but Tristan points out that he has to pick his battles, and Hunter made this one too hard to win.
Truth, though.
Hunter moves to the computer lab where the squad was listening to the conversation. Hunter may have failed, but at least he fought for them. They're not going to let those social justice warriors bring them down. Yael says they'd follow him into any battle, and Hunter knows just the battle to fight. The Feminist Club.
Dude, that last scene was so fucking epically dramatic when he was like,
Yes.
I know our next battle. Head turn to the camera. Revenge.
Netflix.
Yeah. And then,
Yes.
Boz like turns around and looks at VJ like very concerned. And Yael is just like panties off for Hunter right now. Like, you see this look on her face. She's like, break me off a piece of that crazy pants. Yes.
Oh my God. She's got issues.
Yeah, man, that whole group. One thing I find interesting is that they're upset that the game squad only has one female. Are they, so they're not mad at like other like sports teams? Like they're not like, oh man, well, football is sexist. Mm-hmm. It's like I don't imagine that they were turning away women. I feel like this is the group of people who like to game.
Yeah, it's definitely not shown if there were lines of women that were trying to get in the gamer club and they were like, get out of here with your vagina.
Right.
Okay.
I imagine like they're like the lamos, self-described, of the whole school. Like, this might even be sexist of me to say, but I feel like if women were coming in and wanted to be in the group, they'd be like, hell yeah, come on in, ladies.
I think especially Boz would be like, yeah.
You know? Yeah. So, I don't know. That just, I can't fault them for that, though everything that Hunter says in this scene is ridiculous.
Hunter, he starts to make okay points, and then he just says something so stupid and offensive, and it's like, what is wrong with you? Like, why can't you just like, why do you lash out like this?
Any man you've had an argument with on the internet where like, especially when you know the dude and you know that he's not a bad guy, but you see him just digging a hole and you're like, dude, I know what you're trying to say, but you're not saying it correctly at all.
Oh,
Right.
And you should just stop.
yeah. Yeah, totally. That's a great example of that.
Because I hate that. I hate it when I have friends that, like, I'm like, I get what you're saying, but you're not saying it right.
Yeah.
And you're like, just shut up.
And like others have said it better, you don't have to be the passion horse behind this. Like, just let it go, man.
The devil's advocate.
Yeah, please don't.
My only thing about, I think the word devil's advocate is a trigger for me.
Yes.
And it's to lock up my panties.
Yeah.
It's if a man says that he is just being devil's advocate
Yucky.
or likes to play devil's advocate.
Yucky.
Oh, I go.
Especially for something that doesn't affect him. At
Oh
all.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, if you're an advocate for the devil, oh no, sir.
The devil has enough.
I don't want your number, no. I don't want to give you mine, and no. I don't want to meet you nowhere, no. Don't want none of your time. So when we redo No Scrubs, it's going to be No Devil's Advocate. And that's it.
Yeah, I think I used to call them devil's advocate douches.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, just online. It's very toxic. They used a lot of terms that are like online trigger words, like social justice warriors. Yeah, was a big one.
They've introduced that into the equation.
Yeah, yeah. Which I've always
They're
thought,
going after me.
like,
They are.
I think it was maybe Cameron Esposito that said this. That was like, social justice warrior. That sounds fucking awesome.
Right?
That's something I want
Right.
to be.
Like, what's so wrong with being a warrior for like good and
Justice.
for justice? Yes,
Every
it's like
guaranteed every male who's like, I hate social justice warriors fucking loves like creams for the Justice League. Like loves it.
Right?
100%.
And that's got one of the words in it.
Yeah. 100%.
I'm not a social justice warrior. I'm a social justice mage.
Wait, what is that?
Ooh.
Mage?
Ooh, I love it.
What is that?
A mage? It's like a powerful wizard.
Whoa. Whoa. I didn't know that was a thing.
That's great. I like that. I've never heard it, but I love it.
I totally ripped that off from somewhere. Yeah, I don't know. This kind of like they're kind of pigeonholing Goldie as like this stereotype of a social justice warrior where like nothing's ever good enough.
Right.
Like, you know, when they have her saying, but then there wouldn't be any female representation. It's like, we're talking compromise here.
The fact that he was willing to change anything
Yeah.
is big, really, truly. I feel like most situations like this, the person would have just been like, no, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Right. But it's kind of like reminding me of the issue with like the nightclub where the guy was talking on the phone, but it's not like sexist until she like approached him and then
Right.
he became sexist. And that's kind of like what they're doing here with Hunter. Like the actual sexism is very tame and very like the type of thing that most people would overlook.
Right.
And so to try to make this point based off what they're saying, we're kind of like, that's not really that bad though.
Right. And I mean, it's kind of that's what the way Degrassi builds. You know what I mean? Because like you said, that thing that happened to her, that happened to Maya with the phone, that wasn't sexist right off the bat. But then, like, of course, coming back the next time, the guy tries to catcall her.
Yeah.
And then, like, that is a better example of sexism.
Right.
So it's like they're just building, but in a weird way.
I mean, I guess it's kind of showing how it's important to like sometimes nip things in the bud like that because they do grow. Like if you leave sexism unchecked, it grows. But yeah, I mean, I just kind of felt like Goldie wasn't interested in really truly working with him. It didn't feel like that.
Yeah, she just wanted to shut him down.
If that were the case, if she did want to work on it or like nip it in the bud, then she would have worked with the compromise, I think. And then to just be like, well, nope, you did the one really not terrible thing, and we're just gonna
Right.
shut this down right now.
Yeah, because if she, I mean, Granted, after making the comment about her hijab, yeah, I probably
True.
wouldn't like want to hear anything I had to say
Yeah,
after
that's
that.
true.
Like after that one thing,
That's
I probably
right.
would have shut the fuck down.
You're right.
But like before he did that,
You're so right, though. You're so right. That was so uncalled for.
Yeah.
And like for his friends to be like, yeah, that was pretty dumb, but like, we know you're cool. And then at the end, for him to be like, revenge on the feminist club, and for them all to be like, yeah, totally.
Also,
we back you. It's like nuts.
it's late. This is the funny thing, and I wonder if this was an afterthought. I'm not sure when Boz's character is introduced, if he's new with this batch of Degrassi characters. Goldie is Boz's sister.
Oh yeah.
So Boz should be like, dude, what the
What?
fuck did you say about my sister's hijab? Right? Let's
that-
all take a moment
are
and think
they?
about that.
Did you see that in future episodes?
I went far enough ahead, and Boz is Goldie's brother.
Right. But yeah, so if she's his brother, yeah, you'd think first of all she'd know more about video games, but I guess then like Miles and Frankie aren't invested in Hunter's video games,
Right.
so I don't know, but yeah, you'd think they would be the ones talking to each other, or he'd be like, "Why don't I come with you and help?"
Yeah.
Navigate
It makes me
this.
wonder, like, maybe they weren't initially going to be, because
Who knows?
I would think Boz should be horrified that Hunter said that to his sister.
Yes.
Because that is talking about his religion, too.
Yeah.
So,
It's kind of interesting, like that they're an incredibly diverse group of friends, and yet they tolerate
right, they've even got a gay man.
fucking Hunter. Like,
Yeah.
Right. It is so odd. That was the first thing that struck me when I started the episode. I was like, wow, this is a cool, diverse group of friends playing games together. That's awesome.
Right.
And then this happened, and I thought maybe all of the allegations were going to be like completely false, maybe. And that, because they were so cool. And then it went on, and this end scene happened, and I was like, damn, they need to switch some priorities over a little bit. The gaming group. It's
Yeah,
just like,
because
y'all-
they are not at all fazed by any of the things that Hunter did or said.
right.
blindly following Hunter.
Yeah, what is it about Hunter that they like love so much?
I mean, but it is kind of like putting kind of like a end to that concept of I have black friends. Like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, when people say that, it's like that doesn't mean you're not racist or you don't have like racist
Right.
biases, like unchecked biases. Like you can have friends of, different genders, different races, and still have these, bigoted opinions and like biases that you learned from society. Like we all are taught this stuff all our lives from like media and society in general. So we all have these things.
Mm-hmm. We always go on feminist rants. Like,
It's a very feminist season. Like they keep bringing feminism
it really,
in.
yeah.
So-
This season, in particular, is super feminist. That's true.
I get that. Yeah, I feel that.
And I think like checking a ragey white guy's racism isn't necessarily like a safe thing to do, but they don't really go from that angle at all. It's just like they just casually accept what he's saying, which is weird.
Yeah, they don't make any point to be like, well, but if we say something, he's gonna do this, or yeah, they're definitely just seeming like, no, we're fine.
That's where like I've been in that position a million times of like, yeah, there being a guy who's like a loose cannon, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna watch what I say around him, even though what he says and does is wrong, to protect myself. I'm gonna act differently.
Yeah, because it's very interesting. I don't know a lot about Yael's backstory, but it's like I can't imagine a woman who wouldn't be in some way triggered by him breaking those computers. Like that would be terrifying to me.
Agreed.
There are a lot of pick-me's out there though.
That's true.
It's about power, it's about safety. Like there are so many reasons why women don't speak up, or why a person of color wouldn't speak up, because it's like not safe, or because it's just going to make things worse. Like
That's
Yeah.
true.
there have been plenty of times where I'm like, oh, that was really sexist, but I don't want to have a bad night, so I'm just going to let that go.
Yeah,
That
totally.
is so true. That is absolutely a thing I feel like that all of us have definitely dealt with. I will say though, when she was talking to him and was like, "You're my best friend. Take care of this, man." And it was just kind of like in the writing, I'll put it on the writing. In the writing, I never got the sense that she was feeling any sort of way other than like, come on, man, like save the club. And I think they could have hinted at that a little bit more to make it a little more impactful, maybe with what's to come with Hunter and stuff like that. But again, I know nothing about the interworkings of, what was the word I'm trying to use? Intricacies?
Intricacies?
Intricacies. There we go.
You were like, they were never friends before this episode.
She doesn't even like pralines, guys.
Right.
Well, Miles does make the comment that he thinks Hunter's just doing all this to go bang her at a hotel. So
Right. So
right.
we
So
know that
there's something
there's
there.
yeah. They've been hanging out for a while for sure.
Yeah.
Carly, what did you come up with themes?
You know me. My themes are never that good. they're always very shallow. My themes that I had were being yourself despite what other people think / trying to find a compromise with who you are that pleases other people.
Ah, all right.
Not that great.
I feel that though. I see.
Jesse's are always really profound, and I'm always like, feminism is
they're always just like really vague words, and I'm like, yeah, that works.
I'm like, that sounds great. Whereas mine's like, everyone should get along. That was the theme. I think I just found it as like you have Frankie and you have Hunter. This is who I am, but but nobody's accepting who I am. Mm-hmm. So how do I finesse this in a way that I get what I want?
You know what?
And people accept me.
Zoe kind of is dealing with that too because her mom, like we barely even touched on Zoe.
Oh no, that's Zoe. You know what? Literally, I'm thinking of Zoe, and I said Frankie because I get them confused because they're two white women with brown hair, and so I don't know who's who.
Listen, there's a lot of us.
Always confuse them.
Yeah, Zoe is like wanting her mom to accept her for who she is. If she is truly a lesbian, like she believes she might be.
So my theme is right.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like Frankie is like mostly the central character of that third plot line. But then we get a little bit of Shay thrown in there of like being upset. I don't know. Yeah. Well, Frankie's trying to prove that she's not just a rich girl.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like everybody's kind of hiding a piece of themselves. Like, I think that Frankie is trying to almost hide the fact that she's rich. You know what I mean? Like, she wants to be portrayed as a normal person, even though she's rich. Zoe is trying to portray herself as a straight person, even though she's probably not. And Hunter's trying to portray as a sane person, even though he's not.
As a nice guy, not an MRA.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure that. I think Hunter thinks he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like an interesting title to be Not All Men.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm like, they don't get that into the Not All Men talk at all.
They really don't.
Yeah, the not all men. I don't know. I might have used like a hashtag Gamergate thing or something.
Yeah. Oh, Jesse brought that up last week.
Yeah.
Jesse, did you want to talk about Gamergate at all? I mean, I think since Tamara said the words, seems like she knows more about it than I do.
It was this whole thing. It was like there was a lot of angles to it. So I brought up Anita Sarkeesian last week and how she was more of like what people want to characterize the Goldie and Maya in this situation of like having all these opinions about games and putting them out there. But the thing is, like, people accuse Anita Sarkeesian of wanting to like get rid of games, like kind of do what Goldie was saying, like you can't even play this game at all, which that wasn't what she was going for. She was just kind of like, hey, let's analyze these games and talk about the messages they're sending. And then all these gamers like took that to mean she's trying to get rid of all our games and like change all our games so that they're not fun for us anymore and stuff like that. So she was like the precursor to Gamergate.
Yeah, all of that was so nuts. It just it started off as this just like, hey, maybe we should discuss these things, and then just immediately just snowballed into a very aggressive, toxic, crazy thing.
Right. But basically, I mean, there was all these players and stuff, but the big thing was they were trying to address the common tropes in video games that like give off sexist messages. They were trying to address harassment in gaming of, you know, what you were talking about earlier, you know, multiplayer games, people just going off on you and screaming at you. And especially if you're a woman or you're presenting as a woman in games, like the
yeah.
harassment, gets way, like all people who play games generally deal with some harassment because it's the culture, or at least it was the culture. It's hopefully changing now. But like when you play as a female character or it's clear that you're a woman, people will like double that harassment and make it more like sexualized violence, like tell you, yeah, go get raped, stuff like
Because
that.
Bethany was saying that one time her husband Greg played as a female character, and like he basically was getting harassed, and so he's really been through some things as a white man.
Yeah, he understands.
Yeah, but that's so weird that that's all it takes is to
Yeah.
just be a female character in the gaming world, and people are like, let's get him.
Totally. It's like this very aggressive thing where, I mean, I know the culture has changed. We were saying nerds are cool now, and that's great. But it started off like years ago. It was that, like Hunter was saying, like the populars were out to get you. And and so now it's this weird thing that because there's more people invited to play, because people are now into it across all spectrums, that I don't know, there's just like this want to protect it. It's like it was our fun thing, and you guys can't have it. And that especially goes, I think, for women and women presenting.
That whole like where women, we can't like anything that men like without it being like, oh, you like that band? Well, who was the lead singer's stepfather that beat him? And you're like,
Right.
Jeez.
like
Yes.
like women get tested way harder on comic book knowledge, video game knowledge, like music knowledge.
If you're wearing like a nerdy shirt, you're going to get the third degree from somebody. They're going to ask you, try to make you prove you're a true fan and not just being, part of the trend.
I have a good friend that I work with who's a big gamer, and she's on Twitch, and she goes to her local grocery store once a week, and there's this one bagger who every time she comes in, she's wearing a nerdy shirt, and he just grills her on whatever she's wearing. He's like, oh, I bet you like Star Wars droids. Who's your favorite? And she took a second to answer, and he was like, droids, like BB-8 and like, R2-D2. And she's like, yeah, fucker, I know. I'm trying to think of an obscure one so you'll get off my back.
Right?
Jesus.
Right.
So yeah, stuff like that. It's like if you're walking into this thing where you're not welcome already, and it's like already like, don't take this from us, then it's I don't know. It's just it's a weird dynamic for sure.
Well, that's just that thought of, they're trying to take away our X, Y, and Z. It's like, nobody's trying to take it away. They're just saying, A, think about what you consume. B, I'm not going to buy it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, if it doesn't mesh with my, like, what I think is right, I'm not going to buy it. You can still buy it. Like, they're not going around shutting any games down. They're just trying to like get, better games, like get more games that might appeal to them. That doesn't mean we're not going to still have those games that these guys like.
No, and even less than that, it's just like, let's have a conversation about them.
Right.
We have to talk about things.
Right.
It's
What?
okay to talk things over.
I don't wanna talk.
Yeah, it's like analyzing the media you consume, the games you play, like that doesn't make it so you can't play. Like I still watch tons of problematic TV.
Oh, yeah.
But I watch it through a different lens. Like I watch it through an analytical lens, or like I note things that, that it's communicating, and make a concerted effort to not absorb that message.
Right.
It's not a matter of I can't watch this TV anymore.
Right.
If I couldn't watch problematic TV, I just couldn't watch TV at all.
Right.
No entertainment would be safe.
Nope. But luckily Degrassi always has a clear message.
But also, it's not a bad thing to create more games that are more inclusive to attract a different audience. Like,
Because at the end of the day, aren't they just trying to sell more games? Like,
Right.
broaden
Right.
your audience. Nothing wrong with that.
Well, and that's the big thing, is that all these fans were coming out of the woodworks just pissed and angry and livid. And the game developers were like, yeah, we want to have a conversation about this. Like,
But it
we
was
don't
the
care
gamers.
about these, like, skeezy-ass gamers who are, like, being assholes to women. Like, we're trying to make some games. Like, we don't
man.
care.
I mean, wasn't it, wasn't it just like last year where it was the Madden competition that the guy, after he lost, he went to his car and got a gun and like shot the winner.
Oh my God, yes.
Remember that? That was like a
Yeah.
mall.
Yeah.
And it was a shooting and
I
it was
remember
literally
that.
over games. And it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, maybe we need to have these conversations because clearly there's a lot of dudes that they're all listening and they're going to find us right now. Oh my God, I'm so scared. They were talking about them.
I'm prepared eventually
God, my door's
to get
locked.
a MRA backlash from this.
Remind me again what MRA stands for. I'm sorry.
Men's rights activist.
Thank you.
I'll probably go more into it next week if next week is more harassment heavy. But like as a person who is basically raised by the internet, I've been harassed like more times than I can count in horrific ways.
Yeah. I mean,
Like I've been doxxed. I've had people defame me. You know, I even had somebody threaten to sue me because I talked about something they did in public.
Good Lord.
So-
And so it's just like, it's so jarring that there's this loud minority that are just.
One funny thing though, I asked Johnny the other day, like, what's been your experience when you play as a woman? But I guess Johnny has only played as a woman on like World of Warcraft.
oh my God.
And
Did
apparently,
you get hit on?
when he does that, he gets people like just give him things.
Because those that's like the most extreme nerd when they're like, oh my God, I'm gonna get an online girlfriend.
Oh man, I gotta get her on my team.
Oh my God.
That's the best.
There was a true life World of Warcraft where people met on it and got married.
I've had friends that have been like, oh, I'm going to a wedding, out of town next week. And I'm like, oh, whose wedding is it? And they're like, well, actually, it's my gaming friend that I've never met, but I got invited to his wedding. We've been talking through games for years,
Right.
I
and he
love
invited me
that.
to the wedding.
I love it so much.
I kind of wish that there was some sort of call to like what characters VJ chooses, because VJ is a gay man. And I know something that all my gay guy friends talk about is that like that's kind of like the sign from childhood that you're gay, because they would always choose the female characters in like Street Fighter or whatever, like Mario Kart. Like they were
Right.
always choosing the lady characters. And I don't know if VJ is or not, but I always appreciated that because I'm like, oh, yeah, I get it. Like just a fierce woman. That makes sense. I get it. Okay.
Strong ass woman.
Yeah, yeah.
Totally. Yeah, for sure.
All right, great. So again, thanks everybody for listening. Thank you, Tamara, for joining us today. Do you have anything else that you want to plug or let us know how we can follow you?
I am on Twitch at twitch.tv/TamaraIsPlaying, where I would annihilate Hunter at all games.
Are you gonna play? They don't even say what the name of the game is. I was gonna say, are you gonna play? I can't even say it because they don't
looked
give it a
pretty
name.
bad. It didn't look like a game that that I would be into. You can catch me playing Fallout and basically nothing else.
All right.
Gear up for that.
And then what was your YouTube channel again?
Yes, Tamara Lynn Chambers on YouTube and Tamara L Chambers on Twitter.
All right.
Cool.
Well, yeah, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. It was a blast.
I think we've made a Degrassi fan out of her.
Yeah.
I think
Nice.
she's definitely a longtime fan now.
So thanks for listening, everybody. And if you have a story that goes there from high school, college, junior high, really any time, that could be the plot of Degrassi, and especially if it relates to next week, please write in at asocialdiseasepodcast@gmail.com with the subject line, It Goes There. And you can also follow us across social media at A Social Disease.
And make sure you join us next week when we discuss Season 1, Episode 7, #This Could Be Us, But You Playing.
All right, bye, everybody. And once again, we're your hosts, Jesse Mack,
And Carly Jo Gear.
and this has been A Social Disease Podcast.
Thanks for listening.